we need to use this statement so that we can restore sanity around Uasin Gishu.
You've made your
we
point.
We avoid issues of, yes.
So you've made your point.
Yes.
I will give it a maximum of 2 weeks, but bring a statement, a preliminary in a week.
Okay.
So the committee is directed. Member for Kirinyaga Central, Honorable Makilapa, I gave you a chance. You declined. Honorable Member for Kirinyaga.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a request for statement regarding the reported coercion of 2 Kenyan citizens into the military service in Russia. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 442C, I rise to request a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations regarding the reported enlisting by coercion of 2 Kenyan citizens into military service in Russia Federation. Honorable Speaker, on 22nd October 2025, Mr. Martin Macharia Boro of passport number CK 160075 and Mr. Peter Kememia of passport number AK 1663005 traveled to Russia in pursuit for employment opportunities as drivers. Upon arrival, however, they were allegedly coerced into signing a contract to serve in Russian military despite having no prior military training or experience. The two are said to have undergone a brief 3-day training before being deployed to the front lines of the ongoing Ukraine-Russia conflict. This incident raises grave concern about the safety and welfare of Kenyan citizens seeking opportunities abroad, as well as the effectiveness of our diplomatic intervention in such situation. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background I request for a statement from the chairperson of Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations on the following. Number 1, a report on the status of the investigation into the reported forced enlisting of Mr. Martin Macharia and Mr. Peter Kememia into the Russia military. Number 2, the immediate action being taken by Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs to engage the government of Russia Federation to remand the 2 Kenyans. And finally, Madam Speaker, measures put in place to strengthen collaboration with Russia government and curb fraudulent employment agencies to target unsuspecting Kenyans job seekers. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committee, I see the Vice Chair. This is a very serious issue. I know at least a few of us who have constituents who have been lured to Russia but ended up in the battlefront without their knowledge or assent. So kindly, can you provide the report, or rather the response in 2 weeks?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think well guided, we will provide the answer within 2 weeks' time.
Honorable members, we go to a member for Machakos County, Kamene. Honorable Joyce Kamene.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I request for a statement regarding pollution by quarries and tire factories in Katani, Machakos County. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee of Environment, Forestry and Mining regarding the pollution by quarries and tire factories in Katani and its environs. Honorable Speaker, the Katani Cosmopolitan Resident Association has on several occasions raised concerns with the National Environmental Management Authority, NEMA, over persistent pollution by quarry operators and tire factories in the area. The residents have cited air pollution from the dust generated by stones crushed, noise pollution from the stones crushed in the area which operates day and night, destruction of property by fly rocks and trauma from blasting activities, the uninhabited quarry sites abandoned after quarrying, posing safety concern to children and livestock. In addition, tire factories in the area continue to emit pollution that degrade the air quality. These concerns were investigated by the National Environmental Complaints Committee, which proposed regulations for compliance by the quarry operators and tire factories. Unfortunately, these recommendations have not been implemented, and non-compliance continues unabated. Honorable Speaker, the lack of compliance by the quarries is a contravention to the legal notice number 61 of 2009. The Environmental Management and Coordination, Noise and Excessive Vibration Pollution Control of 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Despite repeated reminders, the quarry operators persist with blasting beyond permitted hours and have failed to adapt basic environmental management practices, such as watering roads to control dust, which is also part of the corporate social responsibility. This has raised alarm for the residents whose rights to a clean and healthy environment continue to be infringed by the quarry operators and tire factories in the area. Honorable Speaker, it is in this view of the above that I request for a statement from the chairperson of Department Committee of Environment, Forestry and Mining for the following. A, the measure put in place to ensure that quarry operators, much as Bluestone, Cavestone, H-Young, Silverstone, and Fenaway, Lalage and Pride tire factories conduct their activities in compliance with the prescribed environmental regulations and without infringing upon the rights of residents to the clean and healthy environment. The second one, the plan put in place, if any, to convene an exclusive forum bringing together NEMA officials, county government representatives, quarry operators, and members of the Katani community to foster dialogue and ensure full compliance with environmental safeguards. And the third one, measures in place to ensure that the quarry operators upgrade the roads leading to quarries to bitumen standards as part of the CRS in order to reduce the billowing dust caused by trucks to and from the quarries. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining. Chair, is the chair in the House? Vice Chair? Leadership? Let it be communicated to the committee 2 weeks. Member for Nandi Hills?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C1, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning, regarding the implementation and management of the Public Procurement Capacity Building Levy. Honorable Speaker, the Public Procurement Capacity Building Levy was established by legal notice number 206 of 2023 to provide funds for training, technical support, and mentoring aimed at improving the efficiency and effectiveness of public procurement and asset disposal systems. The levy set at 0.03% of the value of each signed public procurement contract took effect on the 1st September 2024 and applied to all new contracts, extensions, renewals, and variations executed thereafter. The funds collected are remitted by procuring entities to the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority for management and utilization. While the objective of the levy is laudable, there is concern regarding the administration, transparency, and accountability relating to the funds collected. It is therefore necessary to strengthen oversight to ensure that the levy serves the public interest effectively. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning on the following. Number one, the total amount of levy collected under the capacity building levy established by legal notice number 206 of 2023 from the 1st of September 2024, broken down into financial year 2024-2025 and financial year 2025-2026, including the total sum currently held by Public Procurement Regulatory Authority as at October 2025. Secondly is a report on the number of people trained using the levy, categorized by the type of training, region, dates, gender, and the beneficiary institutions. Third, a monitoring and evaluation report of the training activities demonstrating tangible outcomes attributable to the capacity building levy expenditure. Number four, I need a comprehensive report on the procurement capacity development framework guidelines that govern the use of the capacity building levy funds, including short, medium, and long-term budget assessments, needs, and the last one, a list of procuring entities that have failed to remit the levy since commencement and the penalties enforced, if any. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Committee on Finance and National Planning, 2 weeks, bring the response. Member for Kinango, Honorable Gonzirai.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to request for a statement regarding the status of ownership of land parcel LR number 14210 in Puma Ward, Kwale County. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the Provisional Standing Order 44 into brackets 2 into brackets C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands regarding the ownership status of land parcel number LR number 14210 registered under Kenya Triangle Limited in Puma Ward, Kwale County. Honorable Speaker, the residents presently occupying land parcel number LR number 14210 have resided here since the pre-independence era. Many are third generation inhabitants who have cultivated the land, built their houses, and sustained their livelihood across decades. They now face the imminent threat of displacement and reports of proposed sale of 110,000 acres carved from the land, from the larger land, 172,000 acres, holding under the Kenya Triangle Limited. To the government of Kenya, the lack of clarity and the public engagement surrounding the alleged transaction has triggered profound uncertainty across the affected communities. Residents fear that capacity of the process could lead to their eviction without fair compensation, severing the deep-rooted ties to ancestral land and jeopardizing the way of their life. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands on the following. One, the current legal status and ownership details of land parcel number LR number 14210, including any registered encumbrances, claims, or competing interests. Two, a report of any public participation or consideration undertaken to ensure transparency and accountability in the proposed sale of land. Three, confirmation whether the formal proposed or agreement for the sale of 110 acres by the Kenya Triangle Ranch, along with the current status of the transaction. Four, the steps taken by the Minister of Lands, Public Works, Housing, and Urban Development, and the National Land Commission to verify the ownership, compensate, and resettle their current occupation of the land. And five, a report on the status of investigation by the Director of Criminal Investigation, DCIO, on the complaint lodged by the Kwale County Government of Kwale regarding the exercise of multiple title deeds on the same parcel of land, and any preliminary findings on the actions taken. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Before the next statement, allow me to recognize in the Speaker's gallery Family Life District Pathfinders, SDA Mombasa, from Nyali constituency, Mombasa County. You are welcome to observe the proceedings of the House. Member for Igembe North. Oh, hold on, Honorable Taitumu. Your question, Honorable Gonzirai, goes to the Lands Committee to bring a response in 2 weeks. It will be communicated to the committee. Honorable Julius Taitumu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Request for statement regarding status of Kaelo Kamukunji Mutuati Road project in Igembe North constituency. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the status of construction of Kaelo Kamukunji Mutuati Road project in Igembe North constituency. Honorable Speaker, in April 2023, His Excellency the President launched the construction of the Kaelo Kamukunji Mutuati Road, which was expected to be completed by December 2023. However, the project stalled following delays in payment of contractors implementing various road projects across the country. To address this challenge, the Ministry of Roads entered into agreements with the contractors who had pending bills for receipt of at least 40% of the amount owed. While most contractors resumed construction works upon receiving the payment, the contractor responsible for the Kaelo Kamukunji Mutuati Road project did not resume the works. Consequently, the road project has stalled for nearly 2 years since the expected completion date. The state of the road has severely disrupted transport and access to key socioeconomic services, including markets, health facilities, and schools. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on the following. A report on the status of the construction of Kaelo Kamukunji Road, including the specific timelines for the completion of the project. B, steps that the Ministry of Roads is taking to ensure the completion of the project by either 1, ensuring the contractor returns to site as per construction obligations, or terminating and retendering the Kaelo Kamukunji Mutuati Road project to another contractor, and C, measures being put in place to ensure that the contractors who fail to fulfill their construction obligations are held accountable. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. That will be responded to by the Transport and Infrastructure Committee in 2 weeks. What is out of order, Honorable Wanjiku?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to request if you can catch the eye to the leadership of the House. I look at so many responses, mine included, and I do not see the chairs, Madam Speaker. Yesterday we sat here until 6.
Honorable Wanjiku, thank you. We have not gotten to the responses, and I can assure you, you are on the list to be responded to.
And the chairs?
Yeah. It is well taken care of. You will have your response at the right time.
Okay.
Okay. Honorable members, we still have some few more requests of statements. We'll go to the member for Embakasi West, Honorable Mark Mwenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is a request for a statement regarding failure by the Kenya Revenue Authority to implement tax exemption on gratuity income. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to provisions of Study Order 44.2c, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning regarding failure by the Kenya Revenue Authority KRA to implement the tax exemption on gratuity income. Honorable Speaker, the Finance Act 2025 amended the Income Tax Act, Cap 470, to exempt gratuity and after 1st July 2025 from income tax. However, the Kenya Revenue Authority has yet to fully implement this exemption due to delays in updating the income tax employer portal. As a result, gratuity payments continue to be subjected to income tax contrary to the law. This delay has caused undue financial hardship to affected individuals, including retired public officers and employees whose contracts have been terminated, thereby undermining the intent of the law to ease the tax burden on such categories of taxpayers. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning on the following. 1, the reasons for the delay in implementing the tax exemption on gratuity income as provided for under the Finance Act 2025. The immediate measures that the government is taking to expedite the update of the income tax employer portal to align with the law. 3, the plans put in place to facilitate refund of amounts wrongfully deducted from gratuity payments since 1st July 2025. And finally, the mechanisms put in place to ensure timely implementation of future tax policy changes to prevent similar occurrences. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Member, that statement will go to the Committee on Finance. Should be here in 2 weeks. Statement by Member for Mandera South, Honorable Abdul Haro. You have the mic, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to request for a statement regarding the status of electricity connectivity in Kutulo sub-county of Mandera County. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy regarding the status of electricity connectivity in Kutulo sub-county in Mandera County. Honorable Speaker, Kutulo sub-county, home to Kutulo town, has been experiencing rapid growth in recent years. The area now hosts essential public infrastructure, including schools, a level 4 hospital, sub-county administrative offices, as well as national security and government institutions. According to the 2019 Kenya Population and Housing Census, Kutulo sub-county has a population of 72,394, spanning in an area of 2,509 square kilometers, with 9,342 conventional households and 104 group quarters. Despite this, less than 5% of households in the sub-county are connected to electricity, slowing economic activities. Honorable Speaker, Kutulo sub-county in Mandera County relies on an inadequate and unreliable electricity supply from a small substation in Kutulo in Wajir County, located 4 kilometers away. This substation also serves other distant towns like Horo Farar, 30 kilometers away, and Karsa, 40 kilometers in Wajir, resulting in frequent blackouts in Kutulo within Mandera. The erratic power supply has disrupted critical services, including healthcare, education, and security, while also stifling economic activities. Major centers like Boji Garse, Kutayu, Lehele, and Harwale remain unconnected despite electricity lines having been commissioned and tested in the last 3 years. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy on the following. 1. Measures being taken by the Ministry of Energy and the Kenya Power to address the unreliable electricity supply in Kutulo sub-county in Mandera County. 2. Plans being put in place to construct a dedicated power substation within Mandera County to serve Kutulo and the surrounding areas, including Garse Sala and Dabasiti. 3. Steps being taken to fast-track connection of commissioned lines in Bojigarse, Kutayu, Lehele, and Harwale, using targeted subsidies to lower costs for low-income households. And 4, long-term strategy by the government to ensure equitable power connectivity in marginalized and rapidly developing regions such as Kutulo sub-county in Mandera County. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
To be responded by the Committee on Energy in 2 weeks, and the clerk's office ensure transmission of this to the committee clerks, because I don't see the chairs here. Next statement by the member for Nyaribari Masaba, Honorable Daniel Manduku.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is a request for statement regarding the implementation status of the Keroka Ivacho-Kiamo-Kama Road project in Nyaribari Masaba constituency. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order number 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the implementation status of the Keroka Ivacho-Kiamo-Kama Road project in Nyaribari Masaba constituency. Madam Speaker, the Keroka Ivacho-Kiamo-Kama Road serves as a vital transport corridor linking key trading centers, schools, and farmlands within Nyerivari-Masaba constituency. On the 13th August 2024, His Excellency the President William Ruto made a pronouncement committing the government to upgrade the road to bitumen standards. This announcement generated optimism among residents who rely on the road for daily transportation and economic activities. However, more than a year later, there has been no progress on the project, leading to concerns and frustrations from the residents. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure on the following. 1, the current status of the upgrading of the Keroka, Iva-Chokiamo-Kama Road in Nyerivari-Masaba constituency to bitumen standards. 2, the reasons for the delay in commencement of the project, despite the directive by His Excellency the President on the 13th of August 2024. And 3, a report on the steps taken by the government to commence the project, including details on the invitation to tender, the anticipated implementation timeline, and measures to ensure the project is completed within the expected timelines. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. Committee on Transport, 2 weeks. Statement by the member for Jomvu, Honorable Badi Twalib.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to request for a statement regarding severe water shortage affecting residents of Jomvu constituency. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation regarding the severe water shortage affecting residents of Jomvu constituency. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with Article 43 of the Constitution of Kenya, every person has the right to clean and safe water in adequate quantities. Sadly, Honorable Speaker, in the last 3 months, the people of Jomvu constituency, that is in Jomvuku Ward, Miritini Ward, and Mikindani Ward, have been facing an acute water shortage, with many households struggling to access clean and safe water. This situation, Honorable Speaker, is particularly concerning, given that Jomvu is the first point of entry and host of the main water reservoir, serving Mombasa County in a place called Birikani. Despite this strategic position, Honorable Speaker, residents continue to experience persistent water shortages that have caused immense hardship, heightened health risks, and increased economic strain. Honorable Speaker, many families are now compelled to rely on expensive and reliable alternative sources supplied by private water vendors, especially water boozers. Consequently, there has been a surge in private vendors exploiting the dire situation, creating the perception that the shortage may be human instigated. This is not only unsustainable, but also poses a serious threat to public health and the general well-being of the community. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Blue Economy, Water and Irrigation on the following, Madam Speaker. 1, the underlying causes of the persistent water shortage in Jomvu constituency, including any infrastructural and operational challenges contributing to this crisis. 2, Madam Speaker, the measures that the ministry has put in place or intends to implement to address and immediate water needs of the residents and to provide a sustainable, reliable water supply in Jomvu constituency. And thirdly, Madam Speaker, the funding allocated to water projects in Jomvu constituency, including details on utilization of these funds and planned interventions aimed at resolving water scarcity. I thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity.
That will be responded by the committee.
Madam Speaker, Madam Donyo
Honorable
is raising
member,
her hand.
Honorable
There is
Twalib.
something burning, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Twalib,
Yes.
you will not do the Speaker's job. You have done your statement. Kindly give the committee for water time to respond, and I direct that they do that in 2 weeks. Is it on the same? I have already given direction, and I will not indulge debate on the statements. Honorable members, Honorable Donya, you are out of order. You are out of order. Honorable members, we still have a lot of statements to prosecute. We are going to Honorable Member for Nandi, Honorable Muge. Kindly request your statement.
Thank you.
Honorable Member for Jomvu, if you are keen, you would have heard I've given 2 weeks. Honorable Muge, kindly go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Madam Speaker, is it in order for Honorable Donya to continue disturbing the Speaker?
Honorable,
we are supposed to be doing...
Honorable Member Wamboka, kindly give Honorable Muge the floor to prosecute the statement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands regarding the status of land leases in Nandi County. Honorable Speaker, land is one of the most scarce, sensitive, and emotive resources in the country as it forms the basis of livelihoods, investment, and the identity of communities. In Nandi County, Honorable Speaker, there is a growing public concern over the management, the renewal, and ownership of various leasehold parcels. Some of these parcels, Honorable Speaker, are alleged to have expired, while others are embroiled in disputes and ongoing litigation. The situation, Honorable Speaker, has created uncertainty and anxiety within communities, and there is need for clarity on ownership, the applicable procedures for lease renewal, and the fate of land parcels upon expiry of the lease term. Article 65(1) of the Constitution of Kenya provides that non-citizens may hold land only on the basis of leasehold tenure and for a period not exceeding 99 years. Despite this, Honorable Speaker, certain ongoing court cases appear to recognize or rely upon the 999-year contract to the Constitution, 999-year contract to the Constitution, contrary to the Constitution. This has created confusion among the public on the legality, enforceability, and transitional treatment of such leases. It is therefore imperative for the Ministry of Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development to provide clarity on how historical leases are interpreted, how they are regularized or converted under the current constitution, and the impact on landowners and communities in Nandi County and indeed across the country. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Lands on the following issues. 1, a report on all leasehold parcels in Nandi, indicating the total number of leases, the respective acreage, the identities of the lessees, and the current status of each of those parcels of land. Secondly, Madam Speaker, state the legal administrative position on the application of the historical 999-year leases, as well as transitional timelines that are being applied in ensuring conformity with Article 65(1) of the Constitution in the country and specifically within Nandi County. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, the roles and responsibilities of the Ministry of Lands, the National Land Commission, and the County Land Board in overseeing compliance with the constitutional requirements, managing lease renewal, and safeguarding community interest, particularly in instances, Madam Speaker, where leases have lapsed or relate to public, historical, or communal land. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. This also goes to the Committee on Lands. And a note to all the chairs that we are headed to the long recess. All these should be responded before we break for recess. Honorable Ado, you have a request for statement also?
Yes. Yes, Speaker. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to seek for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the disappearance of several persons under unclear circumstances. Honorable Speaker, on the 9th of May 2024, Mr. Jama Adan Mohammed, ID number 33628771, was abducted by security personnel and his whereabouts remain unknown to date. The matter was reported at Liboi Police Station under OB number 120905-2024. Additionally, two other individuals, Mr. Abdi Adan Elmi, ID number 25919658, and Mr. Isaac Abdi, ID number 41166945, were abducted on 1st of September 2025 at the Dajabula location in Sabuli Sub-County, Wajir South constituency. Their disappearance was reported at the Dajabula police station under OB number 0501092025. Despite numerous efforts by the affected families to obtain assistance from government and security agencies to trace their loved ones, no tangible progress has been made to date. Inquiries at local police stations have yielded no information, and the prolonged absence has caused immense emotional and psychological distress to the affected families and communities. Honorable Speaker, these incidents raise grave concerns regarding the protection of fundamental rights as guaranteed under Article 29 of the Constitution, which safeguards every individual from arbitrary deprivation of freedom and the right to security. The inaction by security agencies undermines public confidence in the government's commitment to uphold justice and protect citizens. Honorable Speaker, it's against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. Number one, the current status of investigations into the disappearance of Mr. Jama Adan Mohammed, ID number 33628771, Mr. Abdi Adan Ilmi, ID number 259-19658, and Mr. Isaac Abdi, ID number 41166945, as reported under OB numbers 120905-2024 and 050109-2025. And also, number two, what measures are being taken by the Ministry of Interior and National Administration to ensure the safety and protection of Wajir South, of the residents of Wajir South constituency from these horrible illegal seizures by security personnel? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Committee on Administration and Internal Security, bring a response in 2 weeks. The next request, Honorable Amaua. You don't have a request? Okay. Honorable members, will go to the responses, and we'll start with the chairperson, Departmental Committee on Health. Honorable Nyikao, to respond to Honorable John Kagusha's statement. Is Kagusha in the house? Yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is response to Honorable Kagucha MP regarding the acute shortage of blood testing kits in the country. Honorable Speaker and members of the Assembly, through the blood transfusion and transplant services, I wish to make this response. The blood transfusion and transplant services is mandated to provide safe blood cells and organs to all Kenyans. Safe blood and blood components should be accessible and adequate when needed by patients for transfusion. Kenya Blood Transfusion and Transplant Services conducts donor sensitization, recruitment, blood collection, transportation, processing, testing, storage, distribution of blood and blood components to transfusion facilities within the country, as well as hemovigilance, which is basically to notice how people are getting blood and the quality of the blood. The blood service is centrally coordinated and operates in a hub and spoke model with 6 regional blood transfusion centers linked to the blood transfusion satellites in all counties. The regional transfusion centers conduct donor sensitization, blood collection, blood testing, storage, and distribution of blood and blood components. The services plays a central role in case of emergencies, outbreaks, and disasters, and redistributes blood across the country. The service receives budgetary allocation through the Ministry of Health. The budgetary allocation for blood transfusion has been increasing over the last 4 years, rising from 163 million in the financial year 2020-21 to 1.3 billion for the financial 2023-24. During the financial year 23-24, the World Bank project supplemented the budget by 1.4 billion, totaling 2.7 billion. The budget for the financial year 2024-2025 was reduced over that time from 760 million to 300 million in the first supplementary budget. In the same period, and this is important, around the same time, the World Bank program concluded its funding to the blood transfusion services, creating a funding gap. The reduction in the budget and the conclusion of the program significantly impacted the daily operations of blood transfusion, and that accounts for the hitches that we are experiencing. So the ministry's response is: 1, the report on the measures the government has put in place to avert the crisis and ensure there are adequate essential testing kits to enable the screening of blood donated across the country. The Ministry of Health recognizes the critical importance of ensuring an adequate supply of essential testing kits for screening donated blood across the country. To avert the potential crisis, the ministry has undertaken the following: budgetary advocacy, where the ministry is actively engaging relevant stakeholders to increase budgetary allocations in the proposed budget 25-26, and will continue to push for further increments and subsequent years. Strategic procurement and stock management efforts are being made to streamline procurement processes, to strengthen the supply chain systems and improve stock management to prevent shortages and ensure continuous availability of testing kits. The public-private partnership efforts are being made, and the ministry is exploring collaboration with development partners and private sector players to mobilize additional resources and enhance the capacity of blood screening services nationwide. And 4, there's an effort to enhance efficiency and resource utilization. Measures are being put in place to optimize existing resources, including better coordination between blood banks and health facilities to ensure equitable distribution and utilization of available kits. Through the intervention of the ministry, still committed to safeguarding the availability of blood transfusion, for blood products for the blood transfusion services. The next response: on what immediate measures is the government taking to ensure uninterrupted provision of clean blood for patients, especially those in current need? The response is: the Ministry of Health acknowledges the urgent need to ensure the interrupted provision of safe, screened blood for patients across the country. To address immediate shortages and maintain continuous supply, the following measures have been taken. 1, budgetary allocation, increase of budgetary allocation for the services, and the ministry is requesting for 500 million Kenya shillings in the supplementary budget. 2, they are making further budgetary requests for the rest of the year and the coming years. 3, the operational adjustments for efficiency. The ministry is optimizing the distribution of available resources by prioritizing high-demand health facilities and strengthening coordination between blood banks, hospitals, and regional collection centers. 4, they're working on emergency procurement and partner engagement, and they have discussions that are underway with development partners and private sector stakeholders to secure emergency supplies of testing kits and consumables to sustain services while waiting additional funding. Through the interventions, the ministry remains committed to ensuring timely access to safe blood for all patients. Third response, the long-term measures being put in place to mitigate the risk and ensure a consistent supply of essential kits. The Ministry of Health again recognized the critical need and has put in place measures to mitigate the risk. And as we have said, again, this is increased budgetary allocation and lobbying for that. 2, dedicated blood services account. Madam Speaker, this is basically what to me is new in this whole response, so that we have a dedicated account that handles blood services, where finances that raised whether from government and partners can be put. And 3, get a framework contract for an uninterrupted supply. The minister developed a framework contract system with suppliers to guarantee a steady and predictable supply of blood screening, reagents, consumables, and kits. This will minimize procurement delays. But that framework really just works if you have the money. Strengthen partnership and resource mobilization. Again, as the minister has indicated, this is what they are working on. The 4th response, measures to adequately facilitate Kenya National Blood Transfusion Service to carry out its mandate. The response is the Ministry of Health, again, is committed to this process, and to achieve this, the ministry has undertaken the following key measures. Legislative reforms for autonomy. The ministry is in the final stages of establishing Kenya National Blood Transfusion Services as a semi-autonomous entity through legislative process. And I can actually vote to this, that there is a blood and tissue bill that is actually in process. 2, ring-fence the budget for blood services. 3, strengthen infrastructure and build the capacity for these services. And 4, public and private and development partner engagement. And that is the end. I just will comment that the basic issue in the blood transfusion services is the sudden cessation of support from the World Bank, and then we have not respondingly increased the required amounts. And so although this is the response from the ministry, as a committee, I think it behoves us that when we're now looking at the budget, we need to actually put more money. And this report actually has been here for quite some time, and it's a bit behind in time. And as a committee, we will have to actually look at what they have said here, particularly in terms of the law and 2, budget allocation. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a similar one, if I can go straight to it.
Just hold on. Before I indulge member for Honorable Kagusha, allow me to first recognize in the speakers gallery students learning security and criminology from Mount Kenya University, from Thika Town, constituency, Kiambu County. We welcome you to observe the proceedings of the House. Honorable Nyikal, I would think that we indulge Honorable Kagusha before we go to the next statement. Honorable Kagusha, I know you're seized of the response. Do you have any follow-up questions? Don't debate, make a follow-up question.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I note that the PS has admitted to the acute shortage of the blood testing kits and reagents in the country. Honorable Speaker, what the PS is telling us is that this has been occasioned by budget shortfalls. Honorable Speaker, at the point when I was raising this question, we had very serious challenges with the kits. But may I now inform Kenyans that we do not only have a problem with the kits, but this problem has also escalated even to the refreshments that are given to the blood donors when they go to do the donations. Honorable Speaker, today, the blood donors are required to buy their own refreshments. Honorable Speaker, the impact of this is that there has been increased deaths for patients who are seeking emergency services and blood transfusion. Honorable Speaker, you can also see a connection between the high maternity mortality rate in the country to this lack of blood transfusion. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I find the response by the PS lacking in many ways. He says that he has requested for 500 million and gotten 100 million, okay. But, Honorable Speaker, the PS is now proposing to ration blood in the country in what he's calling the operational adjustment and efficiency. That is prioritizing high-demand facilities, leaving out the low-demand facilities. Honorable Speaker, this is very serious because if you are going to demand to now prioritize the high efficiency, the high demand facilities, are you telling us that one patient who requires blood in those low blood demand facilities are not as important? Honorable Speaker, from this the response, I also find that the PS is helplessly hoping to get some well-wishers to donate kits as he awaits budgetary allocation. Honorable Speaker, can you imagine the whole country of Kenya relying on the well-wishers? He says that he's going to do a framework contract. But how does this help if at all you don't have budget? Then he's also proposing to have public-private partnership on issues of blood. We cannot leave the issues of blood to the private individuals. Honorable Speaker, I want to just highlight something because I want to help the PS and I also want to help our chair, Health. I have looked at the shortfall of the budget that the Speaker, this ministry has alluded to. He says that we had 700 million that was allocated, but this was reduced to 300 million. Honorable Speaker, I have been able to allocate, to find where this 400 donated 85 million shillings. ADC Vihiga Church, the president donated 50 million shillings. AIPC Centenary, the president donated 50 million shillings. In Jesus Winners Ministry, the president donated 100 million shillings.
Order.
AIC was in issue, the president donated 20 million shillings. Honorable Speaker, I have been able to get where the money for blood transfusion has been going to.
Order.
Honorable Speaker, the president is taking the money for blood donation to the churches and taking them to empowerment programs when Kenyans are left to die.
Honorable Kagusha. Order, members. You do not have to raise your hands. You are not in a classroom. Honorable members, use your interventions. Honorable member for Nandi, what is out of order?
Honorable Speaker, is it in order for the Honorable Member Kagusha to blatantly lie about donations that were made by I don't know who? I was in a meeting in Kapsabet, Honorable Speaker, and I never had such an amount. And Honorable Speaker, does it dictate what someone gives? Because that is a personal contribution, if at all it was given. And if he's mean, Honorable Speaker, the Deputy President or whoever is mentioning are not mean. And Honorable Speaker, I just want him to be able to confirm or to be able to substantiate what he has said. Where are the figures coming from? I was in that meeting.
Madam Speaker, Honorable Kagusha needs to withdraw his statement, because there is no fact in what he has said, because whatever the Ministry of Health, Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Health has got its own budget allocated from this House. So there is no way he can say 100 million given there or 85 million given there. That is a personal donation, and not the President or the Deputy President does not hold the kitty for the Health Ministry.
You made your point, Honorable CNN.
Madam Speaker, we are a house of facts. and we have to be factual when we are speaking before the House, Madam Speaker. I would like to request Honorable Kagusha to withdraw his statement immediately, because we don't have a list of where the donations were done, and it is high time we start to be factual. As far as I'm concerned, we are not supposed to lie or to spread falsehood about any person in this country, Madam Speaker. Let us be factual.
Member for Machakos, you do not have to shout. Use your system. I will give you an opportunity. Nyamai.
Honorable Speaker, is it in order for the Honorable Kagusha to mislead the nation, to mislead this House, to mislead the international community by giving a list of non-existent donations? We know very well that Kagusha is not speaking the truth. This is a House of Records. If whatever he's saying is not true, and I know it is not true, he should withdraw and apologize, because those donations he's talking about are non-existent.
Honorable Speaker.
Wamboka, what is out of order?
Give me the mic.
You have the mic,
Madam
Honorable
Speaker,
Wamboka.
without going to a lot of stories and hulabalus, we may ask through you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Kagusha, to bring us the list of donations, because I'm sure if he makes that allegation, he can get them. So, without going to many stories, can we ask the good Honorable Kagusha utulete hiyo story ya donations so that we finish all this story? Yeah. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Kagusha.
Honorable Speaker.
Hold on. Honorable Kagusha, you have done very well in seeking clarification, but several points of orders have been raised. Kindly restrict to Standing Order 91 on responsibility for statement of fact. Have enough data to convince the House, and I'll give you the floor to do that.
Honorable Speaker, I'm in agreement with you. I am able to substantiate this. I'm able to bring documents showing that on Sunday, the President did contribute in ACK Kapsabet, 50 million. The Deputy President contributed 10 million. We had Felix Kosgei contributing 5 million. And Honorable Speaker, the list goes on and on. The President did commit 100 million in AIC Marsabit. Yes. Honorable Speaker, I'm even able to show this House how the President gave 100 million to teachers of Kupet and Nat in State House, how delegations from Murang'a County, Kiambu County, Turkana County were all given hundreds of millions. Honorable Speaker, all this money is coming from the budget. Honorable Speaker, all this money is for the blood transfusion for our patients, and that's why hospitals are suffering. Honorable Speaker, I can substantiate.
Do not make more allegations than you can prove already. I actually want you to restrict yourself to that. Honorable Marianne, what is out of order?
Honorable Speaker, you have directed Honorable Kagusha to bring evidence of what he is substantiating, but he's going on to continue reading figures and statements that are not true or are not substantiated. Why can't Honorable Kagusha follow your direction, Honorable Speaker, and submit that he will provide the evidence he's talking about?
Honorable Kagusha, I want to give you the afternoon sitting to bring that evidence as guided under Standing Order 91-2, and you will give it to be on record. But in the meantime, I'll give Honorable Nyikao, because there are issues that have been raised for clarification to clarify, and ignore the part that is in dispute.
Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker,
Honorable members, order members, order. Let us listen to the Chair Health Committee. Kindly, Honorable Nyikao.
Madam Speaker, okay, Madam Speaker, the issues that have been raised, the issues that have been raised is one, reliance on donors, reliance on other stakeholders, reliance on the private sector, a framework that is in place without funding. They are all revolving around one issue, that actually there isn't enough funding. That is the basic issue here. And I think as a committee, all I can say, I can't talk for the ministry, because this I read as it comes from the ministry, but I know that as a committee, we have only one responsibility that can link to this. At that responsibility is when it comes to the budget time, this has given us the information that there are no funds, so we just have to see how we increase funds for blood transfusion services in the country. I can also tell you from knowledge, my knowledge that I have and experience, that there are many services in this country, blood transfusion being one of them, immunization being another, reproductive health products such as contraceptive being another, where for a long time as a country, we have actually relied on partners and relied on donors. And I think, to me, what this means, we must, as a country, start looking for funds from our own budget to service the essential, to fund essential services in our country. Now, I'm talking as a committee, I cannot reply for the minister, but as a committee, that is what I see, that is what we'll deal with. All the things that are put here, without money, they will not work. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Kagusha.
So, Honorable Speaker, what you realize actually from what the chair is giving us is that at some point we actually had allocated 1.4 billion Kenya shillings just at the onset of this our parliament. And now we are struggling to raise just about 300 million shillings for this very critical area. Honorable Speaker, I do not think as a country we lack money, for sure. And Honorable Speaker, the issue of blood transfusion is so sensitive in Kenya that we cannot leave it to fate. I would actually want to ask the Honorable Chair, how much is allocated in this year's budget? Because what we are looking at really is what was in the last year's budget. How much did he allocate in this year's budget?
What is out of order, Rahim?
Madam Chair, there's a motion which passed in 2016, my motion, requiring the government to do an ICU and a blood donor unit in the whole country. That has never been implemented. That is for the chair.
For the Chair Health?
Yes, for the Chair Health, because it was passed by this House in the 11th Parliament.
Thank you, you've made your point. It's actually for the Chair Health and the Chair Implementation, because we are having quite many pronouncements from this House that go unfulfilled and unimplemented. Honorable Kagushia, wind up.
Yeah, so Honorable Chair, what will surprise you is that Kenyans of goodwill are willing to donate blood all over the country. And by the way, even when they are told to come with their own refreshments, some of them are ready to forego taking refreshments after donating blood, and they are willing to donate that blood even without refreshment. But Honorable Speaker, what is letting them down, because I would want Kenyans to understand clearly, is that when they donate blood, that blood is not tested, and hence it goes to waste. So until when, as a country, can we have blood collected from Kenyans of goodwill, then all that blood goes to waste, because apparently we are waiting for some well-wishers from God knows where to come and help our country. And so, Honorable Speaker, for sure, I want this question to be escalated to the CS, so that by the time the CS is...
You've made your point. You know how to ask the CS a question, follow the procedure to do that. But in the meantime, Honorable Nyikal, you can respond to the issue of budgeting. And also, the committee has the leeway to actually invite the CS or the PS or both to respond to this matter?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. There are two actually aspects. One aspect is actually the budget. I actually did check even up to this morning, and I must say that even the budget this year is not adequate. It's actually 300 million, and it is true there's been a request for more. And I think when we come to the supplementary, as I said, as a committee, we'll do that. So that is an issue. Then the issue raised by Honorable Dawood is that it was passed here that we should have an IC unit and a blood transfusion unit in every county. That is true, but there's a fundamental issue in our structure that when this parliament passes, any committee brings a report and that report is adopted, it ceases to be actually the function of that committee. It goes to the implementation committee. And maybe those of you who watched TV recently, I had an issue where I thought that if you have something with the department, maybe before you bring it to the House, and so that it is the House passes it, you can actually discuss it with the ministry or the agency concerned, so that they know, so that they can actually start working on it instead of coming here. And remember, all the committees we have, whatever decisions they bring to the House that is actually passed in the House, it goes to one committee, which is the implementation committee. I think we should look at that structure. We need to look at it so that committees can actually follow things up. But as you have said, there's a provision which we will use that if there are matters that are important as this, we will get the minister to be here. Because I know there are matters that are still coming, and that is something the committee can take up, get the minister to be here, and respond to these issues that are being raised. Thank you, Honorable.
Very well. Chair, you have another response on a similar matter, so we will not spend so much time on this. The response to Honorable Joyce Kamene.
Once again, thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is in response to Honorable Joyce Kamene regarding blood donation and transfusion services at Kenyatta National Hospital. They are very close but separate. The first one was the shortage of blood transfusion kits nationally. This is the issue of blood transfusion service at Kenyatta National Hospital. In a way, they are related. So the issues that the Honorable Member raised were measures the Ministry of Health has in place to ensure seamless services to patients requiring critical blood transfusion services, especially platelets, donation and transfusion, given that the center does not operate during weekends and past the scheduled hours. The response is the ministry has established a robust national blood services network to ensure an efficient and effective blood transfusion services. The network comprises of 6 regional blood transfusion centers that act as hubs, namely in Nairobi for Nairobi region, Nakuru for Central Rift region, Eldoret for North Rift region, Kisumu for Lake Basin, Embu and Mount Kenya region, and Mombasa for Coastal region. Each regional blood transfusion center serves between 7 and 10 counties. 45 blood satellite centers or spokes are strategically distributed across the country to ensure equitable access to safe and adequate blood and blood products. And the blood transfusion centers serve as the backbone of the National Blood Services Network, bearing the responsibility for processing, conducting specialized laboratory testing for transfusion, transmissible infections. In addition, they handle storage, distribution, and coordination of blood donor recruitment and collection activities, ensuring a reliable and efficient blood supply system across the respective regions. And I have a list giving the other 45 regional collection centers, apart from the ones I've mentioned. To complementing the hubs are the satellite centers whose primary role is to mobilize donors, collect processes, store, and distribute blood to all transfusion health facilities within their jurisdiction. Together, the hubs and spokes form an integrated network that ensures the availability of safe and adequate blood transfusion across all levels. The Ministry of Health hosts the Nairobi Regional Transfusion Center within the Ministry of Health Hafia Annex Compound, a facility that is distinct from the Kenyatta National Hospital Blood Satellite Center located within the hospital. Although separate, the two centers perform complementary functions that collectively enhance the efficiency and the responsiveness of blood transfusion services in the region. The two-tier support structure ensures seamless coordination, rapid response, and timely access to safe blood for critical patients within Kenyatta National Hospital and the surrounding health facilities. The Kenyatta National Hospital Blood Satellite Center was established to meet the hospital's high demand for blood and blood components, which arises from the specialized surgeries, emergencies, critical care, maternity, and oncology interventions. The facility is fully equipped to prepare all blood components, including platelets that the Honorable Member asked for, plasma and red cell concentrates, and operates on a 24-hour basis, ensuring uninterrupted service delivery to the patients in need. Two, the Honorable Member needed to know the steps being taken to extend the operating hours beyond 5 p.m. and weekends so as to receive more blood donations. The Ministry of Health recognized the growing demand for blood and blood components, particularly in urban referral settings, and is therefore taking proactive measures to enhance operational hours and strengthen service delivery. Currently, all satellite blood bank centers, including Kenyatta National Hospital Satellite, operate on a 24-hour basis, including weekends and public holidays. Similarly, the regional blood transfusion centers operate daily and respond to emergency call-out at night and other hours, ensuring the timely availability of blood for patients in need. However, staffing gaps, especially among technical laboratory officers responsible for blood transfusion testing and components preparation, continue to pose a challenge in extending full routine services on hours beyond 5 p.m. In response, the ministry has implemented several mitigation measures to address these capacity constraints. One, they have initiated a progressive staff deployment plan to strengthen the technical capacity at regional blood transfusion centers while engaging county governments through the existing governmental avenues to strengthen the operation of satellite blood centers and blood banks. Two, the ministry through the Kenya Blood, Tissue and Transplant Services has introduced flexible working shifts and workflow systems to cover extended hours and emergencies. Three, the Kenya Blood Transfusion and Transplant Services has an approved staff establishment of 275 for the 6 regional blood transfusion centers but in post, but staff are only, they have an establishment of 275, but staff in post are only 135, which is 49% of their requirement. In this regard, we have engaged Public Service Commission and have agreed to conduct a work staff load analysis for purposes of finalizing the Kenya Blood Transfusion and Transplant organogram to pave way for engaging more staff optimized operations. This is earmarked to be undertaken by December 2025. We are there. In regard to platelet availability, the ministry has enough capacity at the Nairobi Regional Blood Transfusion Center to prepare, store, distribute complements, including platelets. This has been made possible through the procurement of a newly installed automated equipment in addition to anapheresis at the Regional Blood Transfusion Center. In addition, the ministry continues to collaborate with partners and volunteers to support weekend blood drives and after-hours donor recruitment campaigns ensuring sustained donor engagement and continuous replenishment of blood stocks. These combined efforts are geared towards ensuring consistent blood availability, expanded donor access beyond traditional working hours, and improved service delivery across all levels of the health system. Furthermore, transfusing health facilities and satellite blood centers are expected to collaborate closely with the regional blood transfusion centers to maintain adequate stocks of screened, ready-to-use blood in their storage. This stock should cater not only to routine transfusion needs, but also to weekend and holiday demands. Notably, this function is largely a service delivery responsibility and therefore falls under the mandate of county governments. The third inquiry was a comprehensive report on the status of apheresis machines at Kenyatta National Hospital, including plans, if any, to procure another machine to supplement the existing one. Response: an apheresis machine directly collects blood concentrate from a donor. Platelets can be prepared from whole blood using automated centrifuge or by manual methods. The apheresis machine at Kenyatta, at the National Regional Blood Transfusion Center, is newly installed, fully functional, and covered by a comprehensive maintenance contract with the manufacturer. As a result, any technical issues are addressed promptly. Madam Speaker, what they're really saying in that statement is, apart from the new machine, they are also doing it manually using centrifuge systems. I think that's what that means. The installation has significantly increased the center's capacity to produce platelets and plasma components for patients who require specialist transfusion support. Consequently, we no longer face the blood component preparation challenges previously experienced. In addition, as part of the ongoing modernization of blood services, the Ministry of Health has ordered an additional apheresis machine scheduled for delivery by the end of 2025. The satellite has also the capacity to prepare platelets, further strengthening national readiness to meet patient needs. Query number 4 was plans put in place by the Ministry of Health to upscale the capacity of the blood transfusion services at Kenyatta National Hospital to address the huge influx of patients, given that it is a referral hospital. The Ministry of Health has prioritized the Nairobi Regional Blood Transfusion Center for infrastructure and capacity enhancement to meet the increasing donor turnout and transfusion demand within the capacity of the city. Ongoing and planned interventions include expansion of the and refurbishment of the donor areas and laboratory, procurement of additional processing and testing equipment, strengthening donor mobilization initiatives, deployment of additional technical and donor recruitment staff to manage extended hours and high volume operations. And lastly,
Honorable Chair.
Lastly, in integration of the Nairobi, integration of the Nairobi Regional Blood Transfusion Center and Kenyatta National Hospital satellite into the National Blood Service Sustainability and Digital Management Framework for efficient resource tracking and inventory management. Thank you, Madam Speaker. My comment is that is different from what we discussed earlier, is basically staff. The other time we were talking largely of the budget. What this has introduced is a staff shortage. So I think as a committee, I know other members will respond, my response would be, what are we going to do about the staff complaint for the National Blood Transfusion Services? I think, thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very much, Chair. Honorable Kamene, member for Machakos, do you have any clarifications to seek?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Chair, for the feedback. But I still feel And I still think that some of those answers are not valid because he has stated very clearly that the satellite banks have been revived. And I wonder, how will these satellite banks work when the counties do not even have a capacity to test? The other issue is on the 24-hour operation, which I think, and which I know is not true. What I would request is if the committee would make a visit to these centers, and especially the Kenyatta National, to see one-on-one what is being stated and what is actually taking place in the transfusion centers. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chair, would you like to make any comment on that?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I do agree. The truth is, when we ask these questions and the ministers give us, or the ministers or the PSS give us answers, they literally depend on the technical report they get from the officers. And obviously, they will try to make them look as good as possible when they are coming before us. I therefore agree with the honorable member that the best way to look at this is actually to visit not only Kenyatta, but even the regional satellite banks. They are really supposed to work, from my own knowledge, that actually every county hospital should be able to do transfusions, and then they serve also at the regional satellites. Ideally, like hospitals, they should work round the clock or have call services for hours after 5 p.m. So I do agree, and as a committee, we actually need to visit these county facilities, because even with our SHA operations, that is something we need to look at. And they are under the counties. So the information we get from the Ministry of Health need to be actually corroborated by what we get when we get to the ground, which then is actually the responsibilities of the governors. And therefore, probably, you may not then hold the ministry very much accountable for. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Well, two issues. One is that you have said the technocrats try as much as possible to make the response look better than it is, which is a very serious concern. And the Honorable Kamene has asked that you make a visit. I would like you to be specific on when the Health Committee is going to make this visit. And specifically, she's requesting the one for Kenyatta National Hospital. So when can you do that? Do you have an indication of time?
Pending on looking at our program, I think that's something we should be able to do before we go into recess. I think it can't be very specific until I go and look at our program. But we would want to do it before we go into recess.
Okay. Honorable Kamene, fair enough, before we go for recess. Thank you.
Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Rahim. Do you have a response to a statement?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the first response is for Honorable Bernard Kitur, Member of Parliament for Nandi Hills. Madam Speaker, the committee received a response from the Ministry of Roads and Transport through the Clerk of the National Assembly, which I wish to make, regarding plans by the Kenya Rural Roads KERA to install properly designed and clearly marked speed bumps, erect proper signage and additional safety intervention, such as reflective road lighting to reduce the risk of accidents along the road. The Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport submitted that the ministry, through KERA, has prioritized the installation of safety installations and fixtures on the Danger, Chemuswa, Chepterit, Keses, Lesos, Junction C36, Chepterit, Moi University, and Himaki, and Nandi Hills roads. To this end, the contractor, MS China Railway Number 10 Engineering Group Company, has been instructed to install the requisite road safety installations on sections that have been substantially completed. The overall contract sum is 4,335,838,270. The contract sum for upgrading works is 3,730,612,158, while the sum for performance-based routine maintenance, PBRM, is shilling 605,226,112. The installation of the same is ongoing, with works currently underway at Chepterit, Moi University, and Chepterit, Kesos, Lesos road sections. Honorable Speaker, number 2, regarding the timelines for completion, the Cabinet Secretary has submitted that the installation of road safety fixtures at the entire project is expected to be completed by the end of December 2025. Regarding the measures put in place for safety installations in order to guarantee the safety of road users along Moi University Lesos Road, the Cabinet Secretary submitted that the Ministry through the CARA shall ensure the maintenance of the road and its attendant furniture, including safety installations, is undertaken through the project's performance-based routine maintenance, PBRM, component for a period of 3 years, and after which the road shall be maintained through the regular RMLF provisions. I submit on behalf of the Chair, G.K. Karaoke, Chairman of Departmental Committee on Transport. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Rahim, on behalf of the Chair Transport and Infrastructure. Honorable Kitur, is the response satisfactory?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to respond into this answer that is not satisfactory to a greater extent, because first of all, I want to appreciate that you've given the broader overview of this road. This road, danger that comes from Danger Chemuswa, that is from the side of Chesumei, comes all the way to Chepterit, to Moi University. That is Mgwen. And then again, the section that I was very keen is from Moi University to Lesos, where, Madam Speaker, we have had over 7 fatalities, accidents, where we have lost 7 people. And this road was completed about 4 or 5 months ago, and the road is not marked. There are no signages, and that is the reason why I had asked this question. And the answer that I've received today indicates that they will be doing this before end of December 2025, which was part of the question I'd asked. But the question I'm asking is, why didn't you prioritize this initially, that we've had to lose lives of people in Nandi Hills through this road that has been made, which we appreciate, but there are no road markings. In the same respect, they have mentioned the budget that they've put of 4 billion and 600 million for the purposes of maintenance. The road now that is being made by the same contractor between Himaki and Nandi Hills, I want you that would be, we get the assurance that when the road is being made to completion, we should not wait again for another 4 or 5 months when the road is completed and it is not marked, the way it was done in Moi University to Lesos. We've lost so many lives. We don't want to lose any more lives. And finally, I want to appreciate, of course, the fact that the road is ongoing right now. It's being made. The Himaki and Hills Road is being made. Very good standards. But I want to implore on you that even as your oversight, make sure there are road markings, proper signages, so that we do not have, as we celebrate the road that has come, we do not have lives that have been lost. I think also, Madam Speaker, on the small time that I want to donate to my colleagues who are also sharing the same road. When I was asking this question, we are sharing the same road.
Actually, I thought that you'll summarize so that you give a chance to your colleagues, two of them.
Yeah, I can give them, Madam Speaker, because they have also their concerns on the same. I was actually speaking on behalf of Moi University to Lesos and Himaki to Nandi Hills Road that is actually ongoing and being made, so that we don't have those problems again being witnessing where we lose lives. Madam Speaker, kindly, you can allow my colleagues to contribute on the balance of my time.
Anyway, the Honorable just says, make it quick. And remember, you are not debating. We just want you to focus on the response that has been given on behalf of the chair by the Honorable Rahim.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to give a rejoinder on the same of the two roads, Honorable Speaker, the one from Moi University to Olesos. It's sad that it has taken a number of lives, more than 7, just the way the member of Nandils just mentioned. One of them is just close by, is a relative. The other one is my Bakule, the person we were initiated together, Honorable Speaker, for that term. And it has taken that long. I don't know why Kera, yes, took that a long period of 5 months before taking an action. So, Honorable Speaker, I would want, so that we don't have such similar fatalities in the future, say that areas that they need to prioritize on areas that they know there are black spots, so that they do the road markings and proper signages on the same area. Finally, Honorable Speaker, is on the road from Chepterit to Moi University. If you had the figures that were used, close to 6 billion, Honorable Speaker. Right now, the road is in a deplorable condition. They are now repairing it, and they've done road markings before the repairs have been done. So I want to also ask the committee on roads so that they can look into it. We don't need to come here every time and complain, and yet we are bringing sponsors. Please,
it's terrible.
empty ones are for you. So where we are, you enter through here, then we come round in front of these blocks. Okay. So all these, plus this, is the hostel. There are hotelable comments. This corner is Ruto Teaching Hospital, and that's now our new project. And we work closely with the government in terms of all the regulations that was fundraising. Very good. Yes. We also held water course for minister. Yes, we have a degree in health. We also embedded AI. E-learning flow, where the multimodal center is. Yes. So we'll ask you to unveil graciously, and then we do the demo. Yeah. Okay. Good morning. Good morning.
Well, it is a learning space that allows us to use technology and artificial intelligence to support our students learning virtually, remotely, and also physically present. It is a system that actually helps the students to be able to engage with the lecturer very interactively. At the same time, it also has a similar learning experience as if they are here present physically, augmented there. Why this is important is because AMREF International University has students from 32 African countries, and we need majority of whom join virtually, about 70% learn virtually. So this system has an interactive whiteboard. When the lecturer writes, as it will be demonstrated by Geoffrey, the students are able to see and interact with that writing directly. It also is integrated with a microphone where it captures the voice of the lecturer and also the voices within the room, allowing for information and participation of students physically and also virtually. It also has a camera. On this side we have the classroom, the student focused camera, and then here we have the lecturer focused camera. This means that we are able to actually have a close view of the lecturer as she is walking in the room, and also of the students when they're answering questions. The camera focuses on the students specifically. On this side, Your Excellency, we have the course recording unit. This course recording unit allows for recording of the sessions that is taking place. And that means students are able to interact with that material afterwards during the revision in the learning material management system.
You have a big gang of people here.
Yes.
They're somewhere.
Yes, they're somewhere. Allow me, Your Excellency, to invite Geoffrey to show you, to give you a glimpse of health, the future of health education in Africa using the multimodals.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Your Excellency, sir. So I'll take you through briefly how this system works. So we have the physical class where we have our students attending and seeing the teacher physically. Then we have students who are seated in another room, could be in a group, where they have a similar setup done, and they're able to see us and hear us as we speak. Then we have online students. So how it starts, the teacher shares the screen. So from here, the teacher is able to share the screen so that they're able to see exactly what it is we are teaching. So we're able to share that. So immediately the sharing begins, the teacher now is able to use the stylus. So this is a digital pen, and they use the to record whatever it is that is there. For example, if you want to write this, you just use your palm. Then from the screen, you can pick the color that you need to use. For example, we can use white. The screen has text recognition. For example, we teach health sciences, so you find most doctors, the handwriting is not so good. So the screen can be able to detect English. For example, here we say introduction. Introduction to AI. So immediately we do that, the screen will be able to pick that, and if we have made a mistake, we can easily wipe and then come back here and say AI, and then here N. So if the screen has picked that, we can use that and share with the students, or if you prefer to use your own handwriting as the professor, you can just say types of AI. So once this is done, the lecturer is able to share this with the students. And the beauty with this is the students can use their smartphone to scan the QR code, and this write-up will be on their phones, even on their email. If this screen fills up, the professor will be able to use a second screen here, and you have a clean one. Having done that, now from what we have on Your Excellency is that from what we have as students grouped together, if you address them from this side, so allow me to start this. So now, as you can see, they can see you. And since you're the lecturer, as you move from this small screen, you see, if I move this way, the camera is able to follow me up to where I am. And that is the library that is shared by the students. So these online students who here, they're able to see the right view of exactly where the teacher is. So it removes the issue whereby a teacher has to focus on one camera.
Okay, very good.
Yes, then when it is this way, we have now honest students who are, we have people from Rwanda, Congo, Malawi, and we also have now the physical class. For example, if I pick one class, like we could have Tiffany, you can give us the types of AI that we've just defined.
Thank you, Your Excellency, sir. Some of the types of AI are reactive AI, theory of mind AI, limited memory AI, and self-aware AI. Thanks.
Thank you, Tiffany. Yes, so you have seen, Your Excellency, since there's a room and there are many of them, automatically the AI is able to focus on the student who is speaking. Yes. With that, Your Excellency.
Hi guys. And these people here. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello.
Thank you very much. I came to your college. These guys are not on campus.
Yes,
Are they?
yes. Actually, there are some in South Sudan, others in Somalia.
Okay, okay. But the class is where?
This one is a demo that is here, but the student equipment can be anywhere in the country.
Okay, but these are students.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much. I came here this morning to celebrate AMREF University and to grant charter to this great institution. A very deserving feat because the assessment by the Ministry of Education and the Commission on University Education satisfy the requirements for the award of charter of this great institution. And I'm happy to see that other health professionals. So I'm really proud to be here. Amazed by the technology that I see, and wishing each and every one of you the very best as you learn and as you seek to contribute to the well-being of humanity. So, nimefurahi sana, asanteni sana.
Tunaipongeza kweli serikali yetu Kenya. Oh, tunayo imani na serikali yetu Kenya. Oh, tunayo imani kweli na serikali yetu Kenya. Oh, tunafurahia matunda ya uhuru wetu.
1, 2. DJ, studio. We will soon be having His Excellency joining us. He's actually here. All rise. Let's have the Maasai song. We can welcome His Excellency with a clap. Tupige makofi tafadhali. Welcome, Your Excellency. All right. Your Excellency, with your permission, we shall remain standing before the national anthem for the installation of instruments of academic excellence. Let's have the installation of the instruments. Band. With the instruments of academic excellence now installed, we shall start with the two anthems, starting with the Kenyan anthem, followed by the East African anthem. The anthems. With your permission, Your Excellency, I request that we take our seats. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Honorable Julius Migos Ogamba, the Deputy Chief of Staff, Honorable Josephat Nanok, the BOT Chair, that's the Board of Trustees Chair, Professor Charles Okehalam, the Board of Trustees, Chair of the Commission of the University Council, Group CEO, AMREF Health Africa, Githinji Gitahi, Dr. Githinji Gitahi, staff, students of AMREF University, any leaders that we have from the national and county government. With your permission, Your Excellency, allow me to now call on the Deputy Chief of Staff, Honorable Josephat Nanok, to make the invocation and progress with the ceremony today. Tumpige makofi akija. Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, and all the honored guests, kindly allow me to invite Idris Mohammed to say a Muslim prayer, and also Reverend Ignatius Malimo to say a Christian, to lead this convocation and opening prayer. May we kindly stand up.
Let's believe and pray. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, O Allah, Lord of all creation, we thank you for granting us the honor of gathering on this blessed occasion. Shower this event with your mercy, fill it with wisdom, and make it a source of goodness and unity for all present. O Allah, protect each one of us, safeguard our families, and keep our hearts firm upon your guidance. Bless our university, our president, lecturers, students, and the entire fraternity. Grant us beneficial knowledge, harmony, and success in all our endeavors. O Allah, bless our beloved country, Kenya. Grant peace, stability, and prosperity to our nation. Guide our leaders with wisdom, justice, and compassion, and help them to lead in ways that uplift all citizens. O Allah, protect our guests who have honored us with their presence. Surround them with your peace, your light, and your protection wherever they go. O Allah, accept this gathering, bless our efforts, and forgive our shortcomings. I make this short prayer, believing in your mercy and your power. Amen.
Grace and peace to you in the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Today, led by our President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, we gather in gratitude and exaltation as AMREF University receives her award of charter, a historic milestone marking growth, vision, and God's faithfulness. We give thanks for the founders, leadership, faculty, students, and all who have contributed to this remarkable journey. Above all, we honor the God who began this good work and brings it to completion. Almighty and everlasting God, we lift up the nation of Kenya and especially your President, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, along with all entrusted with the leadership and governance. Grant them the wisdom, integrity, courage, and discernment as they guide the nation. Protect the land, O Lord, from division, injustice, and corruption, and establish peace, prosperity, and security for all citizens. Let your spirit move in every decision made for the common good of your people. On this special day, Almighty God and everlasting God, you are the fountain of wisdom and the build of every enduring work. We thank you for guiding AMREF University into this historic moment. You have shaped its mission, strengthened its leaders, and carried its community with grace. As we begin this ceremony, we entrust every step and every future season of this university into your able hands. Let your presence rest upon this gathering. Let your purpose guide this institution. Establish AMREF University as a center of knowledge, a home of dignity, and a place where service and transformation flourish for all generations in Kenya, Africa, and to the world. May her charter strengthen her mission of education, research, and service, and may every effort bear fruit that glorifies and uplifts the society. Through Jesus Christ, our merciful Savior, we pray and believe. Amen.
Your Excellency and all honored guests, you may kindly take your seats. Your Excellency, this state ceremony is convened pursuant to Section 19 of the Universities Act, Chapter 210 of the Laws of Kenya, for the singular purpose of awarding a university charter to AMREF University. Your Excellency, sir, The history of AMREF University dates back to 2005, when the board of AMREF Health Africa and sponsor of the university mooted the idea and subsequently drew up a concept paper advocating for the idea and submitted it to the management board. This idea was premised on the existence of AMREF International Training Center, the training arm of AMREF Health Africa, undertaking training of over 2,000 students on short courses annually. The training school also ran a bachelor program in nursing in collaboration with Moi University. Sir, this journey continued until 2014, when the board of AMREF Health Africa agreed with the proposal to establish AMREF International University on condition that a feasibility study be undertaken to gauge the viability of the university. The feasibility study affirmed AMREF's viability to run a university. Your Excellency, invigorated by the results of this study, AMREF Health Africa formally petitioned the Commission of University Education in October 2015 for accreditation to establish a private university at its International Training Center along Langata Road and ran 3 programs, namely Bachelor of Health in Community Health Practices, Bachelor of Science in Health Systems Management and Development, and Masters of Science in Health Profession Education. Sir, the proposal to establish the university was evaluated with a preliminary technical inspection taking place in November 2016. This was followed by a site inspection in December 2016 to confirm the availability of resources to support the proposed programs. Upon satisfying itself of the university's capacity, the Commission sanctioned the running of the first 2 programs by the institution. Your Excellency, the Commission approved the grant of letter of interim authority in August of 2017, leading to the intake of the first cohort of 9 students by AMREF International University. After commencing operations, the institution continued to work with the regulator in order to meet the minimum requirements for the issuance of a charter, key of which was the establishment of the university seat. In March 2021, AMREF University had not complied with the set requirements, and as such was not recommended for the grant of a charter. An extension of the letter of interim authority was, however, issued for a further 4 years. During this period, the university developed new academic programs, enrolled more students, and commenced the development of the seat of the university. By June 2025, the university had increased its programs from the initial 3 to 12, while the student population had grown exponentially to a population of 2,396. The institution had also secured the seat of the university at Northlands along Thika Road. Having satisfied these requirements, the Commission recommended the award of a charter to AMREF International University in June 2025 to offer the following 12 academic programs: Bachelor of Science in Health Records and Information, Bachelor of Science in Physiotherapy, Bachelor of Science in Midwifery and Productive Health, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Bachelor of Science in Health Systems Management and Development, Bachelor of Science in Community Health Practice, Postgraduate Diploma in Bioethics, Master of Science in Health Systems Management, Master of Sexual and Reproductive Health, Master of Science in Bioethics, Master of Science in Health Professions Education, and Master of Public Health. Your Excellency, a university charter is the highest form of accreditation that a university can receive in Kenya. Today, AMREF University earns this distinction, guided and assessed by the Commission for University Education, the national regulator of higher education. Sir, to begin the formal act of charter conferment, may I request Your Excellency to take your position in the presidential ceremonial desk. Your Excellency, you may kindly sit. Your Excellency, with your kind permission, sir, in witnessing the presidential execution of the Charter, may I now invite the Cabinet Secretary for Education and both the Chairperson and the Chief Executive Officer of the Commission for University Education to witness this historic moment. Your Excellency, permit me also to invite the sponsor, the Chancellor designate, the Vice Chancellor, and the Chairperson of the University Council to join Your Excellency in witnessing the presidential execution of the Charter, and they will take your immediate left side. Your Excellency, may I now call upon the State House Legal Counsel to present the charter documents for your presidential assent. Your Excellency, the President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you may now kindly take your seats at the arena. Your Excellency, I now invite the Chief Executive Officer of the Commission for University Education to proceed with the second segment of this morning's ceremony.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. My name is Mike Kuria. I will lead us in the next segment of the ceremony. And I'll begin by reading the announcement by the Commission for University Education, read by the Secretary to the Commission for University Education on the occasion of the award of the Charter to AMREF International University. On behalf of the Commission for University Education, and in accordance with the Universities Act, Cap 210 of the laws of Kenya, I wish to confirm that AMREF Health Africa Limited wishes to establish AMREF International University situated in Kiambu County in the Republic of Kenya. The said AMREF International University has applied to the Commission for University Education for the grant of a charter in the manner prescribed under the Universities Act, Cap 210 of the laws of Kenya. The Commission for University of Education has visited and inspected the said institution and is satisfied that the objects of the AMREF International University are consistent with the advancement of university education in Kenya. The Cabinet Secretary for Education is satisfied that AMREF International University be granted charter and has submitted the said charter to His Excellency the President with the recommendations thereon. His Excellency the President is satisfied that the granting of the charter to AMREF International University will be of benefit to the advancement of university education in Kenya and has therefore agreed to award the charter to AMREF International University. Your Excellency, sir, I now wish to invite the Chairman, Commission for University Education, Professor James Onyango Awino, to make his remarks. Welcome, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces. Allow me to stand on the protocols already read or observed before me. And just to greet you, it's like good afternoon, because we are almost at the middle point. The other time, I was induced to think of morning, but this one we are in between. You are all welcome, and grace be all of you who have come to celebrate with the AMREF. We are here to celebrate AMREF International University being conferred a charter. This is not just recognition of the university's hard work and vision. It also reflects the broader journey of university education in Kenya, a journey that calls for great oversight and a commitment to excellence. The Commission for University Education has enormous privilege and responsibility of overseeing 82 accredited universities in Kenya. Our mandate is broad and very critical. You can see how critical it is because we are tending to 100 chartered universities. And with the new ones coming again, there are quite a chain of them in line. Our mandate is broad, as I've said, and it includes accreditation, quality assurance, audits, program approvals, and guiding university through implementation of competency-based education. The year 2029 is particularly important as we prepare for a smooth transition of CBE from the lower levels, and of course, then they come to the university. And so the period between is very critical for our changing the curriculum to meet the needs of aligning the curriculum to these people who are entering university by 2029. Your Excellency, we have executed our extensive mandate in spite of an outstretched staffing capacity. The Commission has an establishment of 131 staff, but we are currently operating with only 61, but very dedicated members. And with 61, sir, it means if it is converted or transformed into percentage, is about 45, sir. So it means we are operating below even the average. So, sir, with a lot of deference, respect, and request, sir, we are trying to say that some of these colleagues, sir, have been blessed with longevity. They are senior citizens, sir, and now some of them are almost retiring. Despite our being at the low ebb, some of them are almost retiring by the end of this financial year. So we are putting a request that there is going to be a bit of, if I use engineering language, stress and strain with those who are remaining. And we might reach a yielding stress, sir. So we place a request sincerely, sir, that you really have concern for us. With a lot of respect, we request, so that we can perform, even though we are below the average, we are performing to excellence. These people who are working need even order of the grand warrior from the president. Your Excellency, if our capacity is strengthened, I promise you that we will be better positioned to conduct timely and thorough this kind of work for the university accreditation, quality assurance, all kinds of things that the university requires to approximate the best of quality. That is our agenda. The agenda, as it is now, is moving the university towards the 5th industrial revolution. Maybe the 6th industrial revolution we will have moved to heaven, because these people, you see what they are building now is closer to heaven, my friend. So we are committed to working closely with universities to uphold standards, guide policy implementation, and foster innovation. And with your support, Your Excellency, we can ensure that Kenya's universities continue to produce graduates who are prepared for the challenges of today and also the opportunities for tomorrow, like the one which is now coming, the 5th industrial revolution. We are at the very, very middle path between the 4th industrial revolution and 5th industrial revolution, which will even bring universities more to the industry, very close, so that university can have industry even within it. And then they will be self-sustaining if they are really empowered. In closing, sir, Your Excellency, I wish to congratulate AMREF International University, the Vice Chancellor, Council, faculty, members, students, and partners for reaching this journey. May this charter inspire continued excellence and a lasting commitment to service, knowledge, and innovation. And in a nutshell, thank you, Your Excellency. You are a very good man. You will hear us, our outcry. Thank you very much. It is now my pleasure to invite the CEO of the commission to make some more citations. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Your Excellency, I will now read the citation by the Commission for University Education, read by the Secretary to the Commission for University Education. Whereas AMREF Health Africa Limited wishes to establish AMREF International University, situated in Kiambu County in the Republic of Kenya, and whereas the said AMREF International University has applied to the Commission for University Education for the grant of charter to provide for the establishment, control, governance, and administration of the university, and for connected purposes in the manner prescribed by the Universities Act Cap 210 of the laws of Kenya, and whereas the Commission for University Education has visited and inspected the said institution and is satisfied that the objects of AMREF International University are consistent with the advancement of university education in Kenya, and whereas the Commission for University Education has submitted draft charter, the text whereof is annexed hereto, to the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Education, on the said institution, and the Cabinet Secretary is certified that AMREF International University be granted the charter, Your Excellency, sir, it is now my humble pleasure to invite you to read your citation and award the charter to AMREF International University. Welcome, sir.
Please, let's take our seats. Whereas the Cabinet Secretary for Education has submitted the charter to me with recommendations thereon, and whereas I, William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya, am satisfied that the granting of charter to AMREF International University will be of benefit to the advancement of university education in Kenya. Now whereof, by this presence, be it known that in exercise of powers conferred upon me under Section 19 of the Universities Act Cap 210, laws of Kenya, I, William Samoei Ruto, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, hereby grant the charter annexed hereto to AMREF International University on this 19th day of November in the year of the Lord 2025. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I just wanted to invite you to help move the instrument. And to do this, I would like to, with your permission, sir, to welcome the Cabinet Secretary, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Mr. Julius Ogamba, on your right, to be followed by the Chairman, Professor James Onyango Awino. And I would like to ask our board member, Vincent Nyambiosi, to join. And on your left, Your Excellency, I would like to invite the Chair of the Council, Mrs. Muthoni Kuria. I would also like to invite the CEO, AMREF Africa, Health Africa, Dr. Githinji, and the Vice Chancellor, Professor Joachim Osur. May I also invite those who are assisting us from both sides of the Commission and the university to take their positions. And Your Excellency, sir, what we would like to move is to begin with the charter. And we would like that to be passed over from the Commission for University Education, to go to our chair, the Cabinet Secretary, and to yourself, sir. And that charter, Your Excellency, is the legal document establishing the university. It will form as a point of reference for the university It contains the mission and vision of the university, their objectives, their governance structures, and that is passed over to the Vice Chancellor, who will then keep custody of that particular document. The next instrument, Your Excellency, is the maize, and that will also be passed off to the university. Your Excellency, you can see the symbolism on that particular document, instrument, that there is the map of Africa showing their commitment to African solutions for African problems, and especially with reference to health. And that instrument will be used by the Vice Chancellor, so it passes over to the Vice Chancellor, and it will be used in university occasions. Whenever it's up, it means that an occasion of the university is in progress. Then we have the logo, Your Excellency. It has the same symbolism as you had seen in the maize. So the shape of Africa is there. Their tagline is there, inspiring for lasting change. That also will provide for quick recognition of the university, and it is passed over then to the Vice Chancellor, who will take custody and keep the instrument. The next instrument, Your Excellency, is the seal. And with the seal, the university will be able to authenticate documents, Your Excellency, and any document coming to us with that seal, we know it's an authentic seal, so that it will be kept securely by the Vice Chancellor for use. And the last item, Your Excellency, is the accreditation report. And that accreditation report, voluminous that it looks, is a documentation of our inspection of the institution. It captures the excellence of the institution, but also areas in which we think there could be room for improvement, and we will be monitoring to make sure that that is done. So that too also goes to the Vice Chancellor, who keeps custody of it and makes sure that the recommendations thereon are implemented. Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor. Your Excellency, I want to thank you very much and ask you to kindly take your seat. Thank you very much. You may take your seats. Your Excellency, sir, with your permission, would just like to conduct a small ceremony on the installation of the Chancellor. And the installation will be by the Chair of the Council, Mrs. Muthoni Kuria. She will be assisted by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Joachim Osur, and will also be assisted by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs. I'd like to ask you to come on stage, please. And the Chancellor as well, yes, so that you can be gowned and installed as the Chancellor of the university. This installation, it takes place by gowning of the Chancellor. So I invite those who have the gown to come up on stage with the gown. Your Excellency, the person being gowned becomes now the Chancellor of this university, Mrs. Titsi Masiwa. And you can see, Your Excellency, there is gender balance here. And it's delightful to have a Chancellor who is a lady. From today on henceforth, she becomes the titular head of the institution. In the name of the university, she will be able to grant degrees, certificates, and other awards of the university. She may, at any time, advise for visitation of the university. And she will also be giving advice to the university. So she holds a very important role in the university. And congratulations, Tsitsi. And because she takes over now as the Chancellor of the university, we would like to ask that she's assisted to pass the instrument now to the Vice Chancellor. So I'd like to ask the Vice Chancellor, he's already here, but I would like to ask those who are assisting us to come and do so. With the charter. We'll use the same process, so we begin with the charter. The charter, please. Not the accreditation report, the charter. Would like the charter to be passed so that the Chancellor can be able to pass that document to the Vice Chancellor. And as I mentioned, that's a legal document that establishes the institution and will be kept in the institution. And the next one is the maize, and that instrument too will pass over. And the Vice Chancellor takes custody of it. You can pass it on. The next item is the logo, and that also is passed to the Vice Chancellor. This is now officially in the hands of the Vice Chancellor. And the other items is the seal, to be used, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. And finally, the accreditation report. Your Excellency, sir, this means that all the instruments have been passed off to the Vice Chancellor now, and he has to begin to execute the mandate that is allowed by all those instruments. Your Excellency, sir, if you allow me, I'll invite Reverend Ignatius Malimo to come and consecrate the instrument and also pray for the leaders. Reverend, karibu.
Kindly let us stand. We now come to dedicate the instruments of power, symbols that mark the identity, authority, and responsibility entrusted to the AMREF University. With gratitude and reverence, we set them apart for the work of truth, justice, and service of humanity. O Lord our God, you anoint for holy work and you purify by your Spirit. As we bless and use this oil and holy water together, let them be signs of your grace, strength, and divine favor. May all that is dedicated with them reflect your presence and your purpose. Together, Lord, with the new leadership of this institution. O Lord our God, we now lift before you the charter, the seal, the logo, the mace, and the accreditation report of AMREF University. We dedicate them with blessed oil and holy water, asking that each one stand as a living symbol of identity, duty, and excellence. Let the charter ground this university in truth and purpose. Let the seal uphold integrity in every decision. Let the logo shine as a beacon of hope and service. Let the mace carry authority with dignity and humility. And let the accreditation report witness to discipline, accountability, and high academic standard. May this instrument inspire wise leadership who are standing before you today, Lord. Faithful stewardship and lasting impact in Kenya, Africa, and beyond. With grace given, we now dedicate these instruments in the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you, God, for this service, and we pray that this will mark a new beginning for this institution. In the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Reverend. I will now ask the people here on the stage with me to take their seats, except the Vice Chancellor. And the reason why I'm keeping the Vice Chancellor here is because I would ask him to take the maize and lift it up to you so that you can see that this occasion has been successful and that the university is now fully installed. Thank you. Congratulations. Hongera sana. And I would like you to hoist the maize. Thank you very much. And now it's my pleasure to invite Honorable Nanok to continue from here.
Your Excellency, kindly permit me to invite the Chancellor, Mrs. Tsitsi Masiyiwa, to give her acceptance remarks after being installed as the Chancellor of AMREF University.
Your Excellency, all protocol observed. I'm deeply grateful to join you on this historic day as we receive the Charter and I assume the role of the Chancellor of this prestigious institution. This is a profound honor and responsibility. AMU stands on the legacy of the AMREF International Training Center, which for over 40 years trained frontline health workers across Africa. Since becoming a university in 2017, we have grown significantly, graduating more than 2,000 students who now serve in communities and health systems across the continent. Our programs have expanded to 7 postgraduate degrees, 12 undergraduate degrees, 9 diplomas, and many certificate and short courses, supported by committed faculty and a strong alumni network. Your Excellency, we are honored to host you at this great campus, built to serve up to 10,000 students, most of whom will study online from various places across the continent. We thank our benefactors, including the Kenyatta family, Mackenzie Scott, and other partners for making all this possible. Research and innovation remain central to our mission. With partners such as the MasterCard Foundation, the EU, and Novo Nordisk Foundation, we continue to strengthen Africa's public health research and workforce. Our impact has been recognized in the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings, placing us among Kenya's top institutions. As we chart the next phase, we remain committed to advancing knowledge that transforms health across Africa. I look forward to working with our community to elevate AMU's reputation, deepen partnerships, and expand innovation. Your Excellency, thank you very much, and thank you to the Commission for University Education for your continued support. May this charter inspire us to reach even higher. Together we will shape the future of Africa's health. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, sir, permit me also to invite the sponsor, Dr. Gethenji Gitahi, the AMREF Health Africa Group CEO, to deliver brief remarks on behalf of AMREF University.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, all protocols observed, I wonder how I can be brief in a 67-year-old history to the date we are today, but I will try because I know your time is very busy. Today marks a defining and historic moment for this university, AMREF Health Africa, and as well as primary healthcare for our beautiful continent and in this country, Kenya. Receiving the charter from you, Excellency, and installing our second chancellor as a twin event, is the culmination of a journey of a dream rooted in vision, purpose, and unwavering partnerships. I would like, at this opportunity, to recognize our board, the Board of Trustees, the International Board chaired here by Professor Okea Halam, and all the staff, including our retired Group CFO, who is here today, Jonathan Dutton, who traveled all the way from the UK to come and celebrate because he was part of this work and he was a project director for building this. And all the university staff, who I don't want to mention by name, that have actually worked extremely hard under the guidance of our board and the council and everyone else to get where we are. Allow me to also recognize our first chancellor, His Excellency Festus Mohae, who is now retired, who has now been taken over by Tisi Masiwa as the new chancellor. Excellency, 8 years ago, AMREF started its journey here in Kenya, in the areas of Kajiado, Loitoktok, starting a journey of the flying doctors then, which has now progressed to where we are today. AMREF's journey led into, as has been described, the International Training Center, which equipped thousands and thousands of frontline health workers, including, Excellency, upgrading all the original nurses who are called community nurses, post-independence, to becoming registered nurses, Kenya registered nurses, that improve their skills to provide care. We upgraded more than 10,000 in this country and more thousands across this continent, including Zambia, Tanzania, and elsewhere. But with increasing demand for skilled workforce for our primary healthcare delivery, there was a demand for numbers. Therefore, our little campus that was on Langata Road, which you know very well, Excellency, and also the demand to expand the career progression. So we moved from offering certificate training, diploma training, to bachelor's degree, and then all the master's programs that have been read here by the Commission, and more recently, seeking approval for our first PhD in public health. This progression that has demanded all these things led us to go to the board many years ago and say we need to establish a university because we wanted to move away from collaborating with other universities like the University of Nairobi and Moi for us to establish our own accredited university. And that journey has been described to you, so I do not have to go back to that. But I just want to state that when we started the journey for getting the letter of interim authority, we needed 50 acres. You know, the commission here demands 50 acres, not 49.9. So we had to get 50 acres. And we found our way to Makueni, Excellency, and with the support of the Makueni government, at that point led by Professor Kivutha Kibwana, they granted us 50 acres of land, with which we managed to get the letter of interim authority. But we found that very far for our students here, and therefore we are building, we are going to build a research center there, and we found a nearer home for the students closer to where they are living, and that's why we ended up where we are today. So we thank Makueni because without their offer, we would not have been able to be where we are today. Excellency, today is a milestone as we receive this charter here at the Northlands campus, a campus variously referred to many as the best private university infrastructure. And I think you're here to witness this for yourself. And I dare say, the only one that's qualified and pursuing green building certification under the IFC. We have a lot of solar lighting here, water recycling, and everything else that reduces our energy demands by more than 25%. We warmly welcome you to this magnificent modern campus, made possible by our benefactors who have been named here, the Kenyatta family and Mackenzie Scott, who gave us the money to construct. And this campus enables us to move from a capacity of 2,000 students constrained in Langata, and this campus now can host 10,000 students in a combined model of virtual and physical learning. So we can absorb up to 10,000 students without needing to expand this infrastructure. But they say that if your dreams don't scare you, then they are not big enough. So we are not tired of dreaming. And after this charter, the next dream is to establish a level 6 research, teaching, and referral hospital that's going to be focused on something that's very close to your heart, maternal health and child health. You know, Your Excellency, that the continent of Africa loses mothers needlessly to preventable causes, and we know that when mothers die, the chance of the child to die is increased by 50%. So mother and child health is combined, but this has to be built on the base of community health systems, which you are a true believer in, and building a robust, people-centered and community-led primary healthcare, which also is our global strategy. So with this, we intend to build a beacon of science, service, and compassion as our teaching hospital, specifically to my right behind this tent. And we will be inviting you and the government to partner with us to establish this state-of-the-art teaching referral university. Excellency, for over 6 decades, AMREF Health Africa has championed equitable and quality primary health care, an agenda you and your government have so passionately put at the center. We appreciate the building of the primary care networks, which our team here in Kenya has worked closely with your Ministry of Education to establish. I am told that our team in AMREF Kenya, have assisted to support establishment of 100 primary care networks across the counties, in addition to providing our technical assistance in the development of the benefits package and the financing agenda for the Social Health Authority. We continue to work on this, but this university is now our execution for building a health workforce not only for Kenya and not only for Africa, but for the world. And as we build this, we realize that it's not just by training, academic training, that then charts the path for labor migration. We want our young people to find jobs in Kenya and everywhere, like your government has championed. And for us, we want to partner with your government specifically for skilled labor migration, especially for health workforce. We know that in the past, we've talked about labor migration as a negative force, brain drain, but we know in the health sector now, with analysis by World Bank and others, that labor migration is a positive force. It is actually demand and supply, provides jobs to the young people who are going to build the future of this continent, and also is a foundation for diaspora remittances, but also for skills transfer. So we as a university have established that as a core of our training, and I would like to inform Your Excellency that we have established a language center here. We are now a recognized British Council Training Center for English, so our nurses are able to undertake English training, because I'm informed that the last time Kenya tried to export nurses to the UK, Your Excellency, the failure rate on English was extremely high, and yet it is our official language. But because our friend here, the CEO of the commission, is a professor of English, his PhD is in English, we'll work closely with him to ensure that we can build a center that when our students sit the exams for the UK, they pass with the first test. We are also establishing a language center for German and French as well, working with the Goethe Institute and also the French Embassy. And at the same time, we've ensured that we provided our students an opportunity to learn sign language. Because that's one of our biggest challenges, that when people go to hospital, if actually you're somebody with any particular disability, then you cannot communicate. And we find people, especially those who are hard of hearing and are not able to communicate with the health workers. So we also have a sign language center that we're establishing here. Excellency, in our belief in primary healthcare, we established the Primary Healthcare Congress. The next Congress, the second one, is going to be held 4th to 6th of March 2026 at this excellent campus. And we invite you and your government to partner with us and for you to officiate at that Congress, which we'll be inviting you officially. Excellency, the charter that you've given us today is more than a legal document, is more than legal recognition. It is a statement of confidence and credibility that your government, our country hosts, has in the mission of AMREF Health Africa. It affirms strongly our commitment to shaping Africa's health future through fit-for-purpose and community-led primary healthcare with innovation at the center of it. And as you know, at this time of big withdrawals in development assistance, health sovereignty is so critical. And allow me again to address you specifically and say, I appreciate you joining President Mahama in leading the Accra Reset to establish health sovereignty for this continent, that actually the continent must own its health agenda, must own the destiny of its people. And that doesn't mean that we work alone. It means that even if we do it ourselves, we will not do it alone. So thank you for joining President Mahama in creating the agenda for health sovereignty for this continent. Allow me to applaud the professionalism of the Commission. I will tell you tongue-in-cheek that since this process started with the university, I had never met Professor Kuria, I've never met Professor Awino. I met them yesterday. Yesterday is when I got their numbers for the first time. I never had to call them to ask, can we accelerate this process? That for me is testimony to the professionalism of the Ministry of Education and the Commission. So, and now that we have the charter, I can host them for Nyamachoma because now there will be no conflict of interest. To your government, thank you for your stewardship and partnership in advancing the health of the Kenyan people. To our continental government partners and the global partners, thank you for trusting us to advance the health of the citizens of our continent. To the philanthropists who support us, private sector and academia, thank you for finding us worthy of advancing our joint mission. And to all our offices of AMREF Health Africa globally, we have about more than 10 offices in Europe and North America that help us with fundraising, but they are represented here as well. We have the unit of AMREF Flying Doctors, which is granted the tax exemption set up by your government because anything they do then support the charity work. They're represented here, and of course, all the work we do in other governments. We invite all of you to work with us as we build the leading health sciences institution for Africa. For any of you who want to support our student scholarships, our advancement, any of these buildings is available for you to name. So you can call it Professor Kuria Academic Block, you can call it Excellency President William Samoei Ruto Simulation Laboratory, and for all that, you assist us to move forward the scholarships. Yesterday, the Chancellor met the students, and she had a very hard time because the students kept asking her, how do we advance scholarships? Because you have so many poor students, very bright, and they want to change their communities, but they can't afford the fees. We use a cross-subsidization model where those who can afford pay market rates and those who can't afford are provided subsidized fees. So the scholarship agenda is really great for us, and this is where we are providing all these institutions here, buildings, walkways, anything here can be named for a fee, and that goes to student scholarships. Anything you see, you can name it, except this building, which is owned by your people. To our excellent students, our guardians, our parents, and our staff, you are the reason we are here, and you remain the heartbeat of these great institutions. Congratulations to our new Chancellor, to the entire AMREF community, and may this charter mark not an end, but the beginning of an even greater story of leadership, impact, and transformation for our country, and enduring partnerships with the governments who are the real drivers of the bus when you come to the health sector. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you very much.
After which he will humbly invite Your Excellency to address this convergence and the nation. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the Chairman of the Commission for University Education, Professor James Onyango Awino, and your team from the Commission, the leadership of AMREF International University, led by the newly installed Chancellor, congratulations, Titi. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Your Excellency, it's an honor and privilege to join you once again this week for the award of charter to AMREF International University. On Monday this week, Your Excellency, we were privileged to witness as you awarded charter to Great Sir University. At the very outset, may I express our profound gratitude for your readiness to support and accommodate the education sector activities. This confirms your commitment to addressing the key imperatives of the education sector: access, quality, and relevance. The Kenya Kwanza administration, under your leadership, has deliberately provided expansion and access to higher education by establishing more learning institutions and fostering affordability in higher education through the student-centered funding model and rationalization of program costs. In the last 3 years, enrollment in tertiary institutions has grown significantly because of these strategic interventions. Your Excellency, the university that you are awarding charter today exemplifies how service, science, and art can build an institution that truly changes lives. This institution has grown from a medical foundation that began in the field where health challenges were real and communities needed skilled and compassionate hands. The many years of experience and capacity that AMREF has built over the years and over the decades have formed a foundation that interfaces education, health, and community service, and through this university, it will continue to do so. With this charter, the institution will now be positioned to play an even greater role in providing education and training that responds to real needs of Kenya, Africa, and the world, and especially in the health sector. Your Excellency, as we commend the leadership of the university of this remarkable milestone, we also call upon them to rise to the occasion of this new status. The gains that have been made over the years, such as partnerships with the premier health organizations like the World Health Organization and the Africa Centers for Disease Control, must be consolidated. At the same time, the university must break new ground and conquer new frontiers to enhance its relevance and sustainability in an ever-changing environment. Your Excellency, under your leadership, we will continue the work of creating and enabling legal and policy environments so that our institutions of higher learning can thrive and remain fit for purpose. As I conclude, I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate AMREF International University Fraternity for the hard work, commitment, and sacrifices that have been made this remarkable milestone achievable. I'm confident that with the same spirit and drive, this institution will grow from strength to strength and transform the lives of many in our society and beyond. Your Excellency, with these few remarks, it's now my distinct honor to welcome you to deliver your speech. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Minister. Please, let's take our seats once more. Madam Chancellor, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to preside over this yet another key moment in our country's journey to strengthen education, expand opportunity, and build a healthier and more resilient nation. We gather to honor AMREF International University, an institution that has earned its place as a leader in health sciences in this continent. This charter is not a symbolic gesture. It is a recognition of excellence, integrity, and demonstrated impact. It is an acknowledgement that when institutions align purpose with action, they transform societies. One of the most remarkable things about AMREF International University is that its story did not begin in lecture halls or boardrooms. It began in villages, clinics, and communities across Africa. Before there were classrooms, there were outreach teams. Before there were degree programs, there were health workers trained to serve where the need was greatest. Before titles and credentials, there was trust, earned through service, compassion, and results. That is why today's honor carries deep meaning. You have built credibility from the ground up or from the bottom up, anchored in real human need. This university stands as a powerful example of Africa's capacity to produce knowledge, craft solutions, and shape its own future. Since its establishment in 2017, it has grown from the strong foundation of AMREF Health Africa, an organization with nearly 7 decades of service to community health in more than 30 countries. What began as AMREF International Training Center has evolved into a premier Pan-African university dedicated to training health professionals who lead with innovation, empathy, and integrity. The university's progress speaks for itself. From just 246 students in 2018, AMREF International University now serves more than 3,800 learners from 32 countries across Africa. 70% of the students, I am informed, are women, an inspiring indicator of its commitment to advancing women's leadership in health. And it is no chance that the Chancellor is also a great lady. Some 13% of the students currently benefit from scholarships, helping to expand inclusive and equitable access to education. Since 2018, the institution has graduated 1,665 professionals who are now serving communities across the continent, strengthening health systems, advancing primary health care, and saving lives. Ladies and gentlemen, this institution is demonstrating what an African university can be when it embraces innovation and stays close to the realities of the people it serves. Through open and distance e-learning, the research and community extension programs, the Health Entrepreneurship Academy, and the Center of Excellence for Primary Health Care, the university is not only educating students, but also shaping problem solvers, entrepreneurs, and leaders. This is precisely the kind of transformation needed in our continent. As AMREF International University receives its charter, we recognize not only an institution, but also a philosophy that Africa's challenges can be solved by African institutions. African ideas and African leadership can contribute meaningfully to solutions for our region. To the founders and early champions of this university, you dared to imagine that a continent could build its own centers of medical excellence. You refused to wait for solutions from elsewhere. You build them here at home, and we applaud your courage, your vision, and your relentless service to humanity. I must commend Githinji Gitahi for the comments that he has made, especially the dedication of AMREF University to training health professionals. It is a space that speaks to the needs of the present and speaks loudly to the needs of the future. As I speak to you, 3 years ago, we converted community health volunteers, people who went out of their way as volunteers to serve communities in different aspects. We converted them to community health promoters. We now have close to 110,000 community health promoters across Kenya. We pay them now a stipend. We have given them very basic training. We have equipped them with gadgets and equipment that they can use in our communities. Proudly this morning, I was being given the statistics that they have visited 8 million people in Kenya, referred close to 500,000 to hospitals. I am asking AMREF, because your strength is in working with communities and the space around health workers. We will be working with you, and I will get the Ministry of Health to work with you to see how we can enhance the capacity through training of our community health promoters so that they can do more to our health space. I know, Gitahi, you have said that you've trained 10,000. I want to tell you, I have another 110,000, which you can train. And it is a very primary aspect of health. As we all know, as the people of Kenya, we have been focused and we have made, I think, 3 or 4 attempts at universal health coverage. But this time round, we decided that failure is not an option. And that is why we have rolled out universal health coverage. We've changed the legal foundation. We now have 4 pieces of legislation. We have come with the primary health fund, and I want to commend AMREF because they worked with us on the setup of primary PCNs, primary care networks around the country. We now have 315. We have clustered communities and health facilities so that it becomes easier for us to manage. And we couldn't have done it without the support of AMREF. They not only gave us support in terms of the human capital and the training that was necessary, they even gave us sponsorship. So on behalf of the government of Kenya, I want to say to AMREF, we sincerely thank you for your partnership in delivering the most critical aspect beyond education, health. And it was a commitment I made that having sorted out to a good extent matters education, the thing that required our attention was health. And I'm very happy that today we're not only working on the human capital aspects, we have also figured out funding, and we have mobilized domestic resources, actually doubled domestic resources that we have mobilized for matters to do with health. We have rolled out an innovative program that will equip most of our health facilities. I know, Dr. Gitahi, you have said that you are building a level 6 hospital here. When the time comes for equipping that hospital, I have some ideas. I have some ideas. So if you pay a visit to me, I will tell you how to equip that hospital. It is the same innovative mechanism that today we are equipping hospitals across Kenya under a fee-for-service arrangement that doesn't give you a huge financial outlay for you to have the equipment. And I am looking forward to working with you as we expand the footprint of health infrastructure in Kenya, because health is a constitutional requirement. Section 43 of the Constitution demands of government to provide every citizen to the highest standards of health. And I did commit that health is no longer going to be a privilege for those who have the means, who have jobs, or who have the wherewithal. It's going to be a right of every citizen. And I'm very proud that we are walking that journey, and AMREF has been a great partner as we move in that direction. Kenya's private universities play a central role in shaping our human capital. Of the 82 chartered universities in the country, 37 are private, and today AMREF International University become the 39th university after Monday's 38th university. Private universities account for more than 20% of all university enrollment and are essential partners in expanding access to quality higher education. They innovate faster, adapt more quickly to industry needs, and stand ready to respond when the country faces shortage in critical skills. When Kenya needed more health workers, institutions like this one stepped forward. This is what it means to build a nation that works for its people. Africa carries 25% of the global disease burden, but has only 3% of the world's health workers. Kenya currently has about 189,000 registered health workers. But to achieve global standards and for our universal health coverage plan, we need at least 300,000 more in the coming decade. And AMREF International University is going to be a central cog in making sure that we have this personnel. This is why your work is not ordinary. It is strategic. It is national in importance and continental in relevance. Our education system must produce graduates who can solve real problems. That is why we are reforming learning from early childhood to the university. Our competence-based education and training system is being strengthened to ensure learners acquire practical and relevant skills. At the technical and vocational level, more than 2,000 institutions are now training over 700,000 young people for industry. In our universities, enrollment currently stands at 650,000 students. Through the new higher education funding model, students receive government support based on their levels of financial need. And for the first time, scholarships, loans, and bursaries are being distributed fairly and transparently. To expand access further, we established the Open University of Kenya, ensuring that quality education becomes available to every Kenyan who needs it, anywhere, every time. We are also strengthening funding for science and innovation. The new Kenya National Research Fund framework prioritizes research in health, agriculture, manufacturing, and climate change. And universities that align their research with national priorities will receive support to scale up their impact. That information is very relevant to the Vice Chancellor. If you speak to Professor Shaukat, who I appointed Principal Secretary for Research, I did establish a standalone state department because research continuously is becoming essential and central to any meaningful progress in a nation. And therefore, we have consolidated all our research resources, funding, and strategy in one state department. If you engage him, we are looking at priority areas that will spur greater impact in areas that are important to the nation. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya's future depends on the well-being of its people. Our healthcare reforms, including the Social Health Insurance Act, the Digital Health Act, the Primary Health Care Act, aim to ensure every Kenyan receives quality and affordable care. But policies alone cannot treat patients. Health workers, institutions like this are therefore essential to the success of our reforms. As you enter this new era, under your charter, I challenge AMREF International University to do three things. Number one, expand access by partnering with county governments to train health workers closer to the communities that need them the most. And in this particular aspect, I am talking about we have so many community health workers. We have so many other health workers that do not have the level of training and the level of education that would make them efficient and much more effective. Second, accelerate research with purpose. I have told you, Vice Chancellor, where you're going to get the money. Kenya needs evidence that reduces maternal deaths, strengthens primary care, and combats emerging diseases, not academic papers that sit untouched on shelves. Vice Chancellor, I hope you are taking notes. Third, invest in ethical leadership. The health sector runs on trust, and it is therefore imperative to train professionals who uphold the highest standards of service, honesty, integrity, and respect for life. To the faculty and leadership, this achievement is very well earned. To the students, this charter is not just an honor, it is an invitation to rise to greater responsibility. To our partners, thank you for standing with AMREF on this journey, the Kenyatta family, and all the other benefactors. And to the Commission for University Education, continue safeguarding quality without compromise. And I have listened to you very well, Mr. Chairman, and I am going to provide the necessary approvals for you to hire adequate staff so that you can discharge the responsibility mandated of the community university, of the Commission for University Education as appropriately as is required. And Minister Migosi already, I think, has already done what is necessary. If it is not enough, please let me know so that we can facilitate your work. Today, we welcome AMREF International University fully into Kenya's family of chartered universities. May this institution continue to inspire knowledge, service, and hope for our country and our continent. Congratulations, my very best wishes, and God bless you.